Most people in the town of Red Pine still remember what happened last December, even if nobody likes to talk about it. It's one of those stories that spreads quietly, whispered about in living rooms or over coffee, but never brought up in front of the families involved, especially not the Carsons. It all started the week before Christmas, when a group of neighborhood teens decided to go caroling door to door. It was a tradition in Red Pine, nothing fancy. Just 6 or 7 kids walking around with scarves and sheet music, knocking on doors and singing classic songs. For the most part, people loved it. In a town that small, everyone knew each other. One of the teens in the group was a 17-year-old girl named Lily Carson. She was the youngest in the group, but she had the best voice by far. Her singing was the kind that made people stop whatever they were doing just to listen. Her mom said she was born humming. The night everything happened was bitterly cold. The sidewalks were iced over, and the kind of fog that hangs low to the ground made the whole neighborhood look like a ghost town. The carolers wrapped themselves up, grabbed their little battery-powered candle lanterns, and started down Redwood Lane. Every house answered. Every house except one, the Lorne house. It wasn't abandoned, but it looked like it could have been. The lights were always off, the blinds always closed. The owner, a middle-aged man named Arlen Lorne, kept to himself. Nobody really saw him during the day. Kids on the block called him the Moth, because he supposedly only came out at night. Most carolers avoided his house completely, but one of the teens, a boy named Ethan, pushed the group to stop. He said it would be funny. They'd knock, sing a song, and bolt before the guy could even come to the door. It was stupid teenager logic, but they all went with it. They lined up on the porch and knocked. No answer. Ethan insisted on waiting. Maybe he's just slow, he joked. Still nothing. So Lily cleared her throat and started singing Silent Night. Her voice echoed beautifully down the quiet street, so soft and pure that the other teens stopped laughing and listened. When the song ended, they knocked again. Still no one came. They left after that, brushing it off as an awkward moment. But later that night, when everyone went home, Lily never texted the group to say she made it to her house. When her parents woke up around midnight and saw her bedroom empty, they assumed she was still out with friends. She was. By the next morning, the Carsons had called the police. The town spent 2 full days searching for her. Woods, frozen creeks, abandoned sheds, every yard, every porch. Nothing. Not one trace. No footprints leading off anywhere. No items left behind. It was like Lily vanished into thin air. People prayed, people panicked, and the caroling tradition stopped immediately. For a while, everyone assumed the worst. But then came the singing. It was 3 days after she disappeared when the Parker family reported something strange. Around 1 in the morning, Mr. Parker got up to check why their dog was whining at the front door. When he peeked outside, He didn't see anything except the fog, thick as smoke. He was about to close the curtains when he heard it, a girl's voice, singing Silent Night. Soft, slow, barely above a whisper. He thought it was a prank, or maybe a radio somewhere, but the dog wouldn't stop growling at the door. And when Mr. Parker leaned closer, the singing suddenly got louder, as if whoever was singing had walked right up to his porch. He looked through the peephole. No one was there, just darkness, but the singing kept going, right on the other side of the door. The Parkers weren't the only ones. Over the next few nights, more families reported hearing it. Always late, always silent night, always a girl's voice that sounded just like Lily's. The police brushed it off as kids messing around, maybe using a speaker. But the teens who'd gone caroling with her swore they weren't involved. And they were terrified of being outside after dark. Especially Ethan. He was the first one who claimed he saw her. On the 5th night of the strange singing, he called the police sobbing. Officers found him curled up on the sidewalk, a few houses down from the Lorne property. He was shaking so badly he couldn't walk on his own. He told them he'd heard Lily singing, not far away, but right behind him. And when he turned around, he saw her standing under a street lamp across the road. He said she looked wrong. Her clothes were the same ones she wore the night she vanished, but they were soaked and dirty, like she'd been crawling through mud. Her skin was pale gray, her hair dripping like she'd just stepped out of a lake. And her eyes, he swore her eyes were completely black. He said she wasn't singing with her mouth. Her jaw was clenched shut the whole time. When he called out her name, she didn't respond. She just started walking toward him in stiff, unnatural steps. No emotion in her face, just those black, wet eyes locked onto him. When she got within 10 feet, Ethan ran. Hard. He didn't even look back. The police didn't believe him. They said he was traumatized, hallucinating. But he refused to leave his house for days. Then the singing moved. It wasn't coming from random houses anymore. It was coming from one house, specifically. The Lorne house. Neighbors heard it echoing from inside the walls at night. A girl singing Silent Night, sometimes slow, sometimes frantic, sometimes sounding like she was choking. People started reporting flickering lights, shadows packing behind curtains that were never open before. A few even swore they heard muffled banging, like someone trapped. One brave neighbor finally called the police and insisted they perform a welfare check on Arlen Lorne. When officers arrived, they knocked. No answer. They circled the house and spotted muddy handprints smeared across the back windows. They forced their way in. What they found inside didn't make the news. The official statement said the house was empty, that no evidence suggested Lily had ever been there. But unofficially, the officers who went inside quit within a month. One refused to sleep with the lights off. Another had a breakdown during a routine traffic stop. The most common rumor is that the inside of the house was freezing cold, colder than outside, and that the walls were covered in thin scratches from floor to ceiling. Some said the officers heard singing coming from the vents. Some said they found a small pile of wet clothes in the basement, stacked neatly on the floor. But the thing people whisper about the most is what the youngest officer allegedly saw when he opened a side door leading to the old storm cellar. A wet footprint on the top step, small, bare, and fresh. Lorne himself was never found. He vanished the same night the officers checked his house. His truck was still in the driveway. His wallet was still on the kitchen counter. His coat still hanging on a hook by the door. And the singing stopped. Just like that. No more late-night voices. No more sightings. No more strange noises. The entire town went silent again, relieved but terrified. For months, everything seemed normal. But last December, almost a year to the day after Lily disappeared, a family living on the opposite side of Red Pine called the police with a chilling report. Their teenage daughter had gone out for a walk and didn't come home. And that night, around 1 a.m, the neighbors heard someone singing in the fog. A girl's voice, soft, slow, off-key, singing Silent Night. Only this time, it wasn't coming from a porch or a window. It was coming from the woods. And several people swear they saw 2 silhouettes standing just beyond the tree line, one taller, one shorter, swaying gently like they were caroling together. The town held another search. They found nothing, but every Christmas since, a few unlucky families in Red Pine say they hear it, 2 voices now, drifting through the cold air long after midnight. One voice sounds like Lily. The other sounds older. Some people say it's Arlen Lorne. Others say it's whoever the next missing person was. But the most unsettling detail is this. The voices always start at the edge of the neighborhood, and each year they sound like they're getting closer.